Imagine that you're working on a project for a customer. You are progressing your way through their project requirements document, and the development is going really well. Your team is generating a lot of code, and the product seems to be shaping up. The only issue that you can see is that your team is running behind schedule. But you figure that the customer would have expected that, as so many of your development projects go over schedule. Your manager calls your team in the next day after a meeting with the customer and lets you know that the customer is disappointed and unsatisfied with your work so far. Shocked, you question her about why. Your manager tells you that while your team thought they'd been accomplishing quite a lot, you hadn't even begun to work on any of the features that the customer considers essential to the product. The customer is starting to get nervous because in their eyes, the product is currently close to useless for their purposes. Your team is nearing the deadline for the product delivery, and the customer feels that you don't have anything to show for your work. How did you go from feeling on top of the project to feeling like you've just been wasting your time? Your team didn't have any kind of prioritization process in place to establish an order of development, so you haven't completed the most important features of the product. You're running out of time and are now under a huge amount of pressure to produce something that the customer is going to be satisfied with and that matches their expectations. Your team's goal is to provide value to the customer. By prioritizing the product's features from the start, your team will be able to establish how your customer would like you to approach the product and what they feel will add the most value to the product. With a small amount of planning, your team can avoid many issues later on.